Alright folks, so this week we're starting to go further into our analysis, and as I noted in the assignment sheet last week, analysis is really focused on two things. First thing we have to do before we can actually do the analysis part is we need to be able to summarize. And so I want to just take a moment and look here at the linked sheet I have here for us, okay? It's talking specifically about how to write a summary. And so it talks about preparing it. It talks about reading over and skimming whatever text it is you're doing. It talks about reading the text, highlighting, making some notes, writing down some of the main points, any key supporting points and all that kind of stuff. And this follows with an example here. So you see here, they have this article in the left-hand column, and in the right-hand column, this is actually somebody expressing their notes on the information they're taking down here. So it says global implications of patent law. They've got some general overview. They've got notations that, for the most part, directly connect to the things they've underlined in the text. And so they've given themselves some guiding points here, and they take down some basic information, and they gather enough information that they can then now write a summary. Now, there's some important rules we want to keep in mind here. First of all, a summary has to cover the entire original. Okay, so you're not just summarizing part of the comic book, you're summarizing the whole comic book. The material needs to be presented in a neutral fashion. So whether you have strong feelings about it or not, try to stay neutral as possible. And it needs to be condensed and presented in your own words. And so they have provided here, they basically took what the equivalency of here about 3 paragraphs and they condensed it down to 1 paragraph here. And of course they're using APA, but this is a good little example for you guys to kind of see. So you're going to have 3 paragraphs to do this exact same process. And making sure you have to identify the source. That's not something you need to worry about here. Though you should, in the summary, at the end of the summary paragraphs, which would be right about here for you guys, you should want to put the author and artist's last names. And anytime you specifically cite or quote, which I'm going to encourage you guys to do in the summary section itself, is to try and not only are you citing and needing a citation for your summaries, but you're also going to want to try your best to pull in some quotations if you can, at least 1 or 2, and those would require more direct in-text citations, which we'll be talking a little bit more in our MLA section this week, where you should, if for example you are actually specifically citing a specific page number, you would have the author and artist's last names and the page number. If you're simply summarizing something, then you should just simply have their author's last names and artist's last names at the end there with no page number, because there's not a specific reference you're making, but it is an indication that you did get this information from somewhere else. So hopefully this will be useful and helpful to you, because one of the things I want you to do in your first discussion forum this week is I want you to sort of share a paragraph that might be one that ultimately ends up in your paper. So I want to see you engage in some of this process that I'm pointing out here, but also some of the things I was just talking about, and hopefully you can practice a citation method as well.